Hello, my name is Elena Alcalá and I'm professor of art history at the Universidad Autónoma here in Madrid. I've spent many years studying colonial painting, especially from Mexico, so it is a great pleasure to be here and introduce you to this amazing work of art. It is here on temporary loan. The Conservation Center here in Museo del Prado has done an amazing job of bringing this work back to its original splendor. It represents on one side of the folding screen the conquest of Tenochtitlan, that is the capital of the Aztec Empire. And on the other side, it represents the city of Mexico, that is the colonial capital of the Viceroyalty of New Spain. In other words, it is the same territory over two different periods of time. This work belongs to a private collection here in Madrid, and it is going to be in show and display here in the galleries of the museum for several months, and then it will become part of a larger exhibition, a temporary exhibition that the museum is organizing on Spanish viceregal art in Spain. That is the way so many objects were sent from the viceroyalties to Spain throughout the 16th, the 17th, the 18th centuries for all kinds of reasons. That leaves a really nice window open of time for you to come visit and see this wonderful object. It was painted in Mexico in the late 17th century. We still don't know who the artist is, but it certainly was a very important master painter of that time. And that also means that it makes sense for it to be here in the galleries of the museum amongst the works of contemporary artists that would be here in the other side of the Atlantic. Just a brief word on what is very special about this folding screen. There are several folding screens of this kind that survive in the world. Most of them are in Mexico City in major museums there. But this is the only one that on the side that represents the colonial city, there are people represented in all kinds of activities. And so it is really important to do a lot of close looking here. This is one of the reasons that I invite you to come see it. It is a very large work, but it is full of small details, not easy to appreciate in a reproduction or from afar. So in contemplating the city of Mexico, that side you can discover children flying a kite, people bathing in a canal, a duel between two very angry men, women going to market, or even a wedding of the indigenous population, the local population there. The side of the conquest is special in its own right, and I'd like to just end by noting a few things about it. It's very easy to say that the folding screen is a before and after situation for Tenochtitlan and the city of Mexico, but it does not represent really a triumph of the Spaniards. It is not about the conquered, the vanquished, and the conquerors. The side of the conquest introduces us to the way in which the Mexican elite, the intellectual elite, saw their own history, their past, 160 years after the conquest. And they saw it as a meeting of two empires. And they did a lot too in their writings and the way this past was celebrated in festivals in the city. They did a lot to champion the Aztec past and the grandeur of Montezuma's court and his palace. And so when one looks at this representation of conquest, it is about legendary events and epic history that is the appropriate foundation for the kind of present they were trying to build. They were building a sense of their own identity, the identity of New Spain on Mexico, on the foundation of a great pre-Hispanic past as well. So I'll just leave you with that idea that history is not just about specific events and dates and names of people. It's constantly being reconfigured and retold. And right now in the Prado Museum, we can take a look at how the Mexicans thought about and told their own history in the late 17th century. Thank you.